Grand Rising. What is a holistic lifestyle all about, y'all? What is it about? What is this thing called looking at your life with a holistic lens? What's the whole holistic paradigm? What's the lifestyle of being holistic about? What the holistic lifestyle is about is a mindset, right? So I wanted to talk about that. Holistic lifestyle is a mindset, right? It's a mindset that things don't work separate and they work all together. It's a mindset that you don't ignore one area in your life and pay attention to one area, right? Holistic lifestyle is I'm looking at all aspects of self, how all of them are interconnected, and I'm ensuring that I'm managing all of them well, right? So that's the mind. I'm managing that well. That's the body. I'm managing that well, right? And our environment, the people in our lives, the things that we have, right? I'm managing that well. So a holistic lifestyle is more about life management than it is about anything, okay? Everything affects everything else is a concept that says the arm doesn't work by itself, right? The leg don't work by itself. The heart doesn't work by itself. The liver doesn't work by itself. The lungs don't work by itself. It all works together, right? Normally in Western philosophy or in Western, anything Western, which has to do with the US, this is how we do it. We used to look at the body like a machine. You know, if there's something wrong with this part of the machine, all I got to do is either do my mechanic work, tune it up or take it out. So that's why the West do things like, well, I'm gonna take out your spleen. I'm gonna take out your kidney and change it. I'm gonna do operation on you. And what happened is we took that same operation mindset and we took it into our management. Instead of cultivating the product of us, what we do is we simply do what companies do, right? We don't cultivate the product. All we're doing is we diagnose what's wrong with it so we can replace parts. We try to fix one thing and try to make that the solution. When in reality, life is not about changing parts. Life is about putting the car together and having somewhere where you're going that is so attractive to you that you enjoy being in the car, right? Life is not about, I need to change up my engine, I need to change up, no. It's more of where are we growing to? It's more of where do we see ourselves moving? Where's this destination as well as enjoying the trip? Holistic lifestyle is loving yourself enough to say, not only am I going to get to my destination, but I'm going to run smoothly as I get there. I'm going to enjoy the trip. I'm going to stop and smell the trees, and I'm going to take my shoes off and literally walk on the earth right in the middle of the road. I'm taking a little break. So I know I'm putting it that way, but what I'm saying is when we look at our lives from a whole perspective, we don't make the destination so urgent. We make the journey as important as the destination. We make the choices in the journey as important as the destination. What we do when we're living life holistically, we're not necessarily waiting to get to the end of life. We don't wait for success. We cultivate it every day, right? That's the difference. One is like, when I get there, I'll be. I want to ask you this. Are you a when I get there, I'll be? Or are you a I'll be when I get there? About the same thing. Or are you I am, so I will get there and I trust that I'm getting there? Which one are you? When I get there, I will be. When I am, when I become, then I'll get there. Or you're gonna say that I am, therefore I'll be okay with it. I am, therefore I'm gonna create that place. It's a difference. It's a difference because a lot of people have where they want to be, they get it, but then they're like, something is missing. That's what was missing. It was the paradigm shift. So I want to ask you, how do you rate your life? The first way to not just learn what the holistic lifestyle is about, but to learn if you're actually living up to it is to say, how do you rate your life? At the end of the month or at the end of the week, what are the metrics that let you know how good you've done? If the metric is, oh, how much money did I make? Or how much people did I not burn bridge? If it's how much money did I make and how much people did I not piss off, or how, like, who did I show up for just to make them satisfied? If the metrics are so like vanity metrics, or if the metrics are just financial metrics, then we're not looking holistically. When we have a holistic paradigm, we ask ourselves questions like, how am I experiencing life right now? That's a holistic mindset. Because while some people say, what do I have right now? Or what am I missing? Or what do I need to do? Or what's the next move? A holistic mindset says, how am I experiencing right now? When was the last time you literally asked yourself this question? How am I experiencing this very moment? There's a consciousness that goes with this lifestyle, y'all. It's a sense of awareness that is deeper than what you are aware of because you want to get a result. It's just like, it's an awareness that you don't want to miss out on the beauties of life, right? So sometimes I'm sitting down and I'm like, I feel like I need to do something, right? These are this is when you feel indulged or you feel pulled to distract yourself. And you're like, I need to watch Netflix. And you're watching Netflix and it's like, I'm just watching Netflix because I ain't got nothing else to do. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I running away from experiencing what's within me? Like, am I running away from experiencing the things that's in me right now? Am I running away from it? Questions that need answers. So, I can't answer right now. So the question is, how are you experiencing life? And then, how are others experiencing you? That's another question. The first question is, how am I experiencing life? But the next question is, how is others experiencing me? Which means, how am I interacting with people around me? How am I interacting with those I love the most? Like, the conversations we have on the Ed Talk Daily podcast can seem so basic, y'all. But I stay with the basic. Because it's this. It's like, if you're not experiencing life in a way where it's pleasant, and others are not experiencing you in a way that you're pleasant, then what is going on within you that needs to calm? What is going on? What is the fire within you that needs some water? What is within you that needs some relief? What is within you that needs some balancing? Because you're not experiencing it well, you're not experiencing it the best you can, and others are not either. So this is when we say, oh, how do I look at different components of my life? From the way I'm thinking, to the way I'm moving, to the things I'm intaking in my body. So a holistic approach says, oh, let me not just focus on the result. Let me see what energies are within me are blocked or needs direction. So you do a check. You do a check within you. And the best way to check yourself is to sit with you. The best way to check yourself is to not just sit with you, but it's to get out of your head and into your body. If you can get out of your head into your body, that's a great way to start. And you're like, what do you mean get out of my head into my body? Normally, we try to start from thoughts. Normally, if we're thinking a lot, we just try to think our way out of thinking. Normally, if we're experiencing life in a way we don't want to experience it because of our thoughts, we try to run away from those thoughts. When in reality, all we got to do is get in the body. Because the thing is, did you know that your body can become your mind if you don't pay attention to your mind? So get to your body and then you can change your mind. How? So sometimes you're thinking so much, you need to take your direction away from thinking to being, to feeling, to experiencing. And the way you do that is by getting in your body. So what I teach is Qigong, right? When you're doing those Qigong moves, you're taking whatever emotion was in your mind and you're focusing on the body movement. So now, not only are you no longer focusing on those thoughts as bringing about the feeling, but you're paying attention to the body, which needed that attention. So the body gets some relief, some chemicals are secreted, things are sent where they need to go, and all of a sudden, just by focusing on your body, you can feel a difference in your mind. Just by getting into your body and taking a couple of deep breaths, you can feel a dramatic difference. You feel your parasympathetic nervous system activating and you feel a sense of calm. That's simply because you said, hey, I'm not experiencing life in my mind like I can. I do understand that the same tool that perpetuates the problem won't get rid of it. So instead of thinking myself to more problems, I'm going to breathe myself out of them. Instead of thinking myself to more overthinking, I'm going to stretch myself out of them. Instead of thinking myself into more shame, I'm going to sit still and release them. A holistic approach does not necessarily run away. A holistic approach says, I'm going to transmute. Holistic approach does not necessarily say bad energy or good energy. A holistic approach says, how can I mold this same building block of energy to suit me and help me be more vital? How can I convert this unsettled energy into vitality? A holistic approach understands that all formulas of your body are about the same. It's just on how you either label or use that energy. So while somebody might be full of energy and they say that's anxiety, another person is full of energy and say that's excitement. What's the difference? What's the difference between somebody who has a lot of energy until they feel unsettled, happening in their belly, they feel like they can't sit still, and somebody else who has a whole bunch of energy and they feel like they can conquer the world? Now, somebody said, well, how you label it? No, not necessarily. It's how this person chooses to use his or her energies. We all have about the same building block of energy, but how you choose to use it has to do with this approach. While some people can use words to break others down, if you say that I look at my word as food, and when I speak into people, I want to feed them with my words rather than stuff salad down their throat and choke them to death. What you're going to start doing is you're going to start using your words to encourage people now. So the same energy that can be used to break somebody down can construct them. But it's on your decision on the type of person you're going to choose to be. So I want to ask you this question now. What is the type of person you're going to choose to be? How are you going to choose to live your life? By what categories are you going to judge your progress? Will you just let it be the finance? Will you let it be what you have? Will you let the vanity metrics rule your life, or will you start to look at it from a whole perspective? Or are you going to start to look at your relationships? Will you start to look at your physical health? Are you consciously thinking about what you're putting in your body? But then, okay, so here's the thing. It doesn't make sense to go to a seminar and spend 24 hours learning how to tame your mind, and then you leave the seminar and eat a Twinkie bar. It just doesn't make sense, right? Or it doesn't make sense to go to the seminar and eat and learn how to eat great, or learn how inflammation can cause depression, and how if you get rid of inflammation, you can get kind of like reverse it, and then you go home and then you inflame your body some more. You see, that doesn't work. It doesn't work to know and not act on it. Or it doesn't work to try to work the mind and not tailor to the body. It doesn't work to try to progress but never look at your emotions. Like, you got to look at the emotions. You have to look at that. Emotion itself is called energy in motion. How can you work on your mindset but never get in touch with your emotion? So we have some people who's like mindset, 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 but yet they're experiencing one emotion every day and they have no idea that they're experiencing that emotion. So do you think that your mindset is going to get rid of that emotion, or do you think transmuting that emotion is going to convert it? I think the latter, not the former. So you have to think about, oh, everything works with everything else. Everything doesn't work by itself, right? Like your money play is not as different as what you put in your body. Because to manifest the money, you need to have a clear mind. And if the body's toxic, the mind is toxic, the money ain't coming. If the body holds limiting emotions and energies and ideas, limiting beliefs, and then the mind says, oh, I want to do that, the limiting beliefs are going to contrast what you want to do. So though your intention is set on that, your body says, you're going to do that? Your body ain't telling, like your body ain't aligning with what you're thinking, yo. So taking a holistic approach says, I'm not just going to focus on one aspect of my life. I'm going to look at the physical. I'm going to look at the mind. I'm going to look at the physical, the spiritual, and the mental. So when we start from that, boom, our lives trying to transform. So remember I said, it's not even what you're going to do. It's what you think that is best to do. You're going to find the practices and tools when you develop a holistic lifestyle. You're going to find the practices and tools. But it's the type of person you make a dedication to being that's going to kind of allow you to find them. All right? Okay, you know how as soon as you identify with this, oh, I'm a smoker, every time somebody brings up a cigarette or a blunt, you want to hit it. But as soon as you say, I'm not a smoker, whenever somebody brings it, that's your first thing. I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke. So guess what happens? They just either don't pass it to you anymore, they don't ask you about it anymore, and over time, you start to believe it. And guess what? You no longer do it because you switch your identity. So when you say, I'm the type of person that lives a holistic lifestyle, you say, I've identified with not looking at one area anymore. I've identified with having all things working for me to get me to the next level. And from that point forward, that decision transforms your life. So I don't know if you've ever got introduced to a holistic lifestyle, if this definition of what holistic lifestyle is about makes sense to you, but it's a dedication to a sound mind, sound body, and an in-tune spirit. And that has to do with what you consume and what you feed your mind, what you consume and what you feed your body, what you consume and what you feed your spirit. And as soon as we can have that consciousness to decide what we consume and decide what we don't consume, boom, we have the discernment to make the best choices, which is going to yield to the best life. So guess what? You don't live out your best life, you cultivate it. You make a dedication to a lifestyle and you say you're going to go that way. You say, I eat the best foods. I eat living foods and not dead foods. And every day you do that. You say, hey, I don't intake all of these sugars. I take natural. Like, you make decisions. You make dedications to things. That transforms your life. So thank y'all for being able to tap in and allow you to wear my glasses, right? Give you a different perspective, a different paradigm. And this was not to tell you how to live a holistic lifestyle. All it is saying, what does the holistic lifestyle mean? What is it about? And what's the concept? What's the mindset behind it? And I know this added enough value to you where you can kind of understand that, hey, let me not look at me as separate parts. Let me look at me as a whole, a ball of energy detached from the source of all energies that's able to manifest itself as my being. Let me see how I can keep that energy growing each day and bring it out to the world. That's my message, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tapping in. And I wish you a great rest of your day. And until next time, remember, you have unlimited power within you to achieve whatever it is that you want, to grow to the person that you were created to grow to. But start with your belief, hone in that belief, and get another paradigm of life. Don't just look at things as separate. See how they all relate together. So take a holistic approach and you see how your life evolves. All right? Peace.